All right, there's a lot there. Shannon, how did you feel about his rant? Did you like it?
I love it. And Skip, he's absolutely spot on. Because remember, he mentioned James Harden. Oh, and like I said, players are not allowed. You signed the contract, honor the contract. Skip, they told this man, Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, you're not playing until your agents and we figure out a situation. Really? Skip, if I'm not mistaken, they fined AD $100,000 for some requesting for wanting out. Even though he's behind the scenes, say, trying to handle this in a private manner, they say, no, a healthy scratch. So, James, so in other words, and this is what I've always had a problem with, teams can do whatever they want because the fans, for some reason, Skip, the billionaires have somehow done a great job of convincing the fans. If a player does something, the billionaire has been wronged by the millionaire player. It happens in every sport. In football, Skip, we see that all the time. A player, they're going to side strikes. The fans side with the players. And here's a situation. Teams put together teams all the time. You look at Danny Ainge really started the Big Three when he went out and got Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and teamed up with Paul Pierce. Everybody said Danny Ainge was genius. Boy, that was unbelievable what he did. But LeBron James as a free agent, Chris Bosh as a free agent, how dare they do that? They ruined the league. They ruined the league. Kevin Durant as a free agent, he goes join Steph and Clay. He ruined the league. So players don't have the ability as a free agent to do what teams do all the time. They cut players, they trade players, but to tell a player, you cannot play, and the player is healthy. Because remember, the Adam Silver came out and said that healthy players, I'm expecting you to play. And if a healthy player doesn't play in a national televised game, they're going to find the team hundreds of thousands of dollars. Draymond is 1,000% correct, Skip. They got to do something about this because you can't say, if I want to move on, I want to play the younger guys. Okay, James Harden said, look, I don't believe I can win here. Skip, I didn't get upset at James wanting to move. I got upset with how he handled it. So he should have been allowed to sit, not cause a commotion, until they find a trade partner. Don't force him to go out there and play. Don't label him and say all these other things. And fans, you need to understand. Give the player the same respect you give the team. When they want out, when the team want to move on with a player, they want to buy him out or they want to trade it, they got no problem sitting a healthy player. Let the players have that same kind of leeway.
Okay. On this one, I'm not with you, and I'm not with Draymond. And yet, I want to be clear that I have always been very pro-player. I think all these players, they're so gifted, they should get every penny they can get. And many times, they do get well paid for what they do. And I'm not about shut up and dribble here. I'm just talking about the rules are the rules that you signed off on. You ceded some of this control to the owners through collective bargaining.
Yes.
So if you don't like it, fight it. Next time you get the chance, fight back. It's going to cost you some money to fight, as you well know. You're going to have to sit out, literally without getting paid. Yeah. Because we're talking about right now an Andre Drummond, and in the report, they spoke right before tip-off, so I'm sure they were commiserating over this. That's fine. But I can't work up a lot of sympathy right now for Andre Drummond because he's in his 9th season in this league.
Right.
He's made so far, if you give him the rest of his contract this year, which is $28.8 million, okay? He will have made $136 million to play basketball. It's pretty good.
Yes.
It's not like I can work up a whole lot of sympathy for him.
Right.
And yet he's 0-8 in playoff games. Well, I think Cleveland's talking about, I could be wrong, but they might be trying to trade him to a contender so his life could get better. So
why not play?
Huh?
Why not play him then?
Okay.
He's a basketball player.
Okay. They've moved on to Jared Allen, which I think Jared Allen is better than Andre Drummond.
Okay.
Okay. So they have moved on. So instead of making him sit on the end of the bench in uniform, they're saying, you don't need to dress because obviously they don't want to risk
Why not play him in the basketball game? He's a basketball player. He plays basketball.
Okay. What if during warm-ups he turns an ankle and he's not tradable?
Well, what if James Harden was out there when he was made to
stay on Drummond. Stay on Drummond because James is a whole different situation.
I look at it as like a player saying, the organization says, we want to move on. A player says, I want to move on. What's the difference?
For a brief period, they're saying, Andre, just take the night off. You're okay. And it's pretty good because they're not cutting your pay. They're actually paying you $28 million to sit.
That man wants to play basketball.
Okay, but he's going to sooner than later.
No, I want to play right now.
Okay, but in the next few days, you want to play for a team that's not going to make the playoffs. You just want to go out and play.
He played for a lot of teams. Detroit did. There were some lot of years Detroit didn't make the playoffs, and he played.
Okay, so pretty soon he might be a net. He might be with the net. I don't know who he's going to be. And it'd be like, thank you, God. Look where I got. I got to KD and Kyrie and James.
But Skip, but see, the problem is now is that you're looking at it because you signed the contract. Okay, the team signed the contract also.
Yep.
Andre Drummond is a basketball player. He didn't say, well, I want to look, if things are not going well, I want to be able to sit and then move on. I don't know, and I could be wrong. I don't believe Andre Drummond went to the team and said, I want to get traded. This was their decision. Okay, this is their
decision.
They have a young...
But they were able to acquire a younger, better player than you, so I'm sorry. If you dressed last night, there's a chance you'd play 3 minutes. I don't know.
Skip, all I know is I saw the man against the Lakers have 25 and 20.
Okay.
The guys led the league in rebounding. You got to go back to Moses Malone, to somebody that averaged 15, 16 rebounds over 3 or 4.
He's a good rebounder. He's led this league in rebounds 4 times. Last year he had 18 and 15 on 2 different teams, Detroit and Cleveland, obviously.
So that's worth something, right?
Okay. No, I got it. But this isn't going to last the rest of the year. They're not saying you're in mothballs till next year. No, it's just a week or so or however long.
Why it got to be a week? Why can't he play basketball?
Okay,
he's a basketball player.
So for a team that's going nowhere?
Let me ask you a question.
Why would he want the wear and tear on his body?
So let me ask you a question.
After 9 years.
Any team that's not going anywhere, a player that wants to get out, he should just sit it down. We're not going anywhere anyway. James Harden should have just set it down because he said Houston doesn't have enough to win. Okay. So he should have just been able to sit it down, no questions asked.
Okay, I can only comment from my perspective. I'm not going to use the word that Draymond used last night. That
bull jive.
No, what happened, what the media did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to use that word. But let's just say I did not condemn James for finally saying, I just can't do this by myself. I did not condemn it.
No.
It was ugly. He got heavy. And he was dogging it. Although, his dogging it, we both raved about the first night he played at Portland.
44-17.
Yeah, it was like, what?
Yeah.
But there are other nights when he wasn't trying.
He wouldn't even shoot the ball. Okay. And James Harden never met a shot, with the exception in Brooklyn now that he didn't like.
So clearly at Portland, was that the opening?
The opening,
I believe it was. I think he just wanted to say, hey, I can still do this. Now get